often get a sinking feeling when they contemplate the drive to work and back. It may be called rush hour, but frequently, traffic moves at a snail's pace. The CBC's Dwight Drummond now on a city that's desperate for a big fix.
The South Junction, there's been a collision there. Provincial police telling us that that intersection has been closed.
Getting worse every day.
It's gridlocked all the time.
It's been a slow afternoon. We've had repair work underway, blocking one lane.
It's horrendous. The traffic is just horrendous in terms of getting to work, getting from work.
For frustrated motorists inching along in traffic gridlock, Toronto's looming congestion crisis is already a daily reality.
Crisis is the right word. We are at crisis proportions in terms of the size of the issue. So it's an economic issue. It's costing us $6 billion a year in terms of the Toronto region economy and lost productivity.
And it's going to get worse. Carmageddon, as it's being called, is predicted for 2031 or sooner. Constant gridlock, a traffic jam that never ends.
So goes the Toronto region, so goes Ontario, so goes Canada. So, we have to actually get the Toronto region moving more effectively, more efficiently.
Maddie Simeoticki, who teaches transportation and planning policy at the University of Toronto, points out it hasn't always been this way.
People were coming from around the world to come and look at how our transportation system was set up.
But he adds the city has failed to keep up with the exponential growth and the rising demands of the population.
The city really outgrew the legacy transportation system that was there, and we lost our way in terms of keeping up with investments. We lost our way also in terms of a governance structure that allowed you to plan for a whole region.
Toronto has one of the worst commute times in North America and the worst in Canada. The average commute by car is 29 minutes each way. On transit, 49 minutes.
Hey, good afternoon to Jim Curran.
Good afternoon, Laura. Very busy start to the afternoon because
Jim Curran has been steering drivers through rush hour traffic in the Greater Toronto Area for nearly 40 years.
every year it gets worse. It's slower and slower. The commute is longer.
Curran covers both the morning and afternoon commute.
The city population continues to grow, but many companies have moved out of the core of the city, set up head offices in the suburban areas or beyond, and so people are traveling out almost as frequently as they are traveling in.
The reverse commute is one of the growing challenges that a city like Toronto faces.
Businesses are very hesitant to come and locate here when they can't move their people around or they can't move their goods around.
Forcing some companies to find creative ways to get their people to work on time.
And I used to be so sleepy on the way driving. I wish I could park on the side of the road and take a nap. But many days it's like that. So it's
stressful.
It's very stressful.
With the help of their employer, Hannah Lee and her co-workers have found a way to help ease the stress of their daily commute by van pooling.
Now we've got, I think it is 4 different van pools going. And, it's a big savings for the environment when you can have 9 people traveling in one vehicle as opposed to 9 cars on the road, right?
PowerStream is one of 150 companies that has joined a provincial program set up to help businesses provide commuter options. Each passenger pays $90 a month, which covers the cost of gas and maintenance on a vehicle provided by the company.
It's a team effort, and we all get along. So we all know our role, and we try to contribute to the success of the van pool.
It's not a solution, but it is a start. The van pooling program was created by Ontario's transportation agency, Metrolinx.
Well, we have a lot of work to do.
As head of that agency, Bruce McQuaig is responsible for moving more than 57 million passengers a year throughout the Greater Toronto Area. He knows how important it is to improve Toronto's commute.
We need more transportation services out there, both transit and other forms. People travel not just within their own municipality, they're crossing municipal boundaries all the time. We need to make it easy for people to cross the municipal transit systems and the road system.
But doing that comes with a hefty $50 billion price tag. The big move is an ambitious 25-year plan that includes a long sought-after rail link between two of Canada's busiest transportation hubs, Pearson International Airport and Toronto Union Station. But it's unclear where that money is going to come from. Gas taxes, tolls, or raising transit fares have all been suggested.
We keep hearing about money being poured into the system, but it's going to take a while before it happens. And I think the majority of people I know, anyways, my neighbors, and most of them take the car.
I'm Tammy Sutherland at Kiel in the 401, looking at the 20 worst bottlenecks in the country, according to a new study by the CAA. And number one on that list, well, take a guess.
The 401 eastbound or westbound.
It doesn't matter what direction. The 401 between Highway 427 and Yonge Street has topped the list of the worst, most congested bottlenecks in the entire country. The CAA says that stretch alone costs commuters over 3 million hours of annual delays.
I would say it's the 404 and 401 DVP area.
Coming in second is the DVP 404 combo between Finch and Don Mills. The Gardner Expressway between South Kingsway and Bay Street is fourth. Toronto Street's making up half of the Canada-wide list. The only in-town route in Toronto to make that list was Black Creek between Weston Road and Trethewey. This area here is number 12 on the list.
I park here every day.
You park here, not drive?
No, pretty much park. That's it.
The 10 other bottlenecks listed are in Montreal, Vancouver, and Quebec City. All 20 drain an extra 22 million liters of fuel and collectively cost drivers over 11.5 million hours per year.
And that could be lost time sort of doing business, lost time, just personal time with family. That was pretty startling, as well as the amount of fuel loss and CO2 emissions.
And if you think Toronto traffic can't possibly compare to those infamous backups in LA, you'd be wrong. The study shows that the same 401 stretch ranks as the 9th worst in Canada and the US, right alongside Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York.
We've been talking to the different levels of government about ensuring that the infrastructure investment exists and continues to be put into what's needed to move people around safely.
Tammy Sutherland, City News.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, September 6th. I'm Toby Kerr. In downtown Toronto, clear skies, 21 degrees, feeling like 26. Here's what's making news this hour. The heat and humidity welcomes you back to the work week today. A cyclist is fighting for his life after being struck by a vehicle in Cabbagetown. Peter Mansbridge is stepping down from the helm at CBC's The National. The Jays remain in first place despite a loss to the Yankees. Meantime, Team Canada now preparing for the World Cup of Hockey. Sports at 15. And coming up in business, Europe already has negative interest rates. Will the European Central Bank go even further to increase exponential growth? We'll look ahead to the upcoming decision on interest rates for the ECB. 680 News Time, 12:01. With a look at traffic and weather on the ones, here's Toby Kerr. This report is brought to you by GTA BMW Retailers. A few issues to report this morning. Looking eastbound on the 401 at Highway 25, there is a left lane blocked because of a collision. Going eastbound are now looking for 3 men and a woman in connection with the incident. One male is identified as 32-year-old Trevor Smithen of Toronto. He's being described as 6'1", 181 pounds with cornrows. The woman is identified as 33-year-old Raja El Enzi of Toronto as well. She is described as being 5'5", 100 pounds with numerous tattoos on her arms. The 4 suspects are believed to be driving a gray 4-door 2016 Chevrolet Sonic with Ontario license plate BZK727. Police say all 4 are considered armed and dangerous.
Police.
Well, the CEO of Metrolinx will not say when the Eglinton Crosstown LRT is going to open, despite the province previously suggesting that it could be running by next month.
Yeah, for the latest on the long-delayed transit project, let's bring in CB24's Sija Liu. You've been speaking with residents in the area tonight. Do they find this surprising?
No, not at all at this point. It's they will believe it when they see it when it comes to the opening of the LRT. We spoke to the CEO of Metrolinx today. We asked him, will it be open for September? That was a target date we heard from Premier Doug Ford. We didn't get a yes, we didn't get a no, we got it depends on safety and reliability. But he gave us some more insight into what is causing the latest holdup when it comes to the official opening of the LRT, and it has to do with the aging trains. And the reason I say aging is because this has been under construction for 14 years now. These trains were actually built a decade ago, and only now are they starting to clock the type of mileage they were meant to in the daily service. And that is because they have been doing stress testing every day to make sure these trains are safe and reliable. But that stress testing is leading to some vulnerabilities being exposed. Here's more from the CEO of Metrolinx on that.
Every day, well before 6 a.m., our partners at the TTC turn up to drive these vehicles and put them through their paces until 2 in the morning. And as at late July, TTC personnel are also now showing up at Eglinton stations to put the non-rolling stock infrastructure through its paces too. Escalators, elevators, HVAC systems, etc. What we are finding out from this deliberate period of stress testing is that one of the issues to address collectively is vehicle availability and reliability. These vehicles are 10 years old. They're only just now beginning to run the kilometers that were intended for revenue service. And as we do that, we find out what their maintenance profile is. We get a better picture of how to keep them in service so that we can build the availability of vehicles to a level that can meet peak capacity.
And a lot of commuters are getting a bit of a tease seeing these trains run every couple of minutes along Eglinton. They have a not in service sign because they are undergoing stress testing, like you just heard. Here's some more reaction from commuters today on this latest possible delay.
I was thinking it's going to open in the next 6 months every time, but then it keeps getting delayed. But if it opens, I think I can commute very fast. But right now it's taking too long. In the Google map it shows like 20 minutes, but the actual time doubles. Like it takes 40 minutes for me to travel because of the construction.
This is so inconvenient, and the buses take forever. It takes me like an hour and 45 minutes just to get somewhere, which normally takes 20 minutes to drive.
So the big question tonight is still, will it open in September? Carolina, we don't have a yes or no. It depends. So still a lot of timing issues up in the air. So back to you.
Okay, still not a yes. Sija, thanks so much for this. While staying with transit news, the Premier is defending his plans to build a tunnel under Highway 401 following a report earlier this week that suggests a previous study of the project was shelved in the province back in 2021.
I know it's costing our economy $56 billion every single year in traffic congestion, not to mention mental health alone, just sitting in this traffic jam every single day, seeing the 401 just absolutely jammed. I drove by, I keep telling you, I drove by at midnight, the place, the 401's packed along Kipling and that. I'm thinking, where's everyone going at midnight? But at one time we thought we'd have 2 tunnels, but now some creativity, 1 tunnel, 3 levels, and it's going to serve the people for decades to come. You know, I'll be pushing up tulips by the time everyone's riding this full steam.
Ford was was asked about the tunnel after a Global News report earlier this week suggested a previous study of the tunnel was conducted in 2021, but that was never made public. The report says an internal assessment found several problems with the tunnel proposition, including technical and financial issues and a potential risk to public safety. So earlier this year, the province announced a request for proposals seeking interested parties to help carry out a feasibility study on the tunnel. That study is not expected to be complete until February of 2027.
And Premier Doug Ford is challenging the judge who overturned a provincial plan to remove bike lanes from some of Toronto's main routes, and he did not hold back when speaking with reporters today.
Yeah, the Premier says that he's confident that an appeal of ruling is going to go the province's way. Now, Ford ran part of his last election campaign on a promise to move dedicated bike lanes along parts of Bloor, Yonge, and University. There's been some debate whether or not the removal of the lanes would hinder or help the flow of traffic. And Ford says that the judge had no right to province's decision.
I've never seen a decision like this, that a judge overrules the people of Ontario because of ideology, not because of law, ideology. But we knew when they picked this judge where it was going anyway, so it's not a big surprise. I do have confidence in the courts and the Court of Appeal, and let's see what happens from there, and then we'll move forward.
Now, the City of Toronto and the province, they are trying to work out a compromise to please both sides, even though the city is pressing ahead with the Court of Appeal.
Okay, right now it's 5:08, 28 degrees. Let's get a check on the evening commute with CP24 traffic specialist Heather Seaman. Good evening, Heather.
Good evening, Alina and Bakari. Well, a busy but steady drive on most of the major routes. Some areas busier than others. Let's start with the good news. There was a crash on the westbound 409 ramp at the 427. It just cleared a few seconds ago. It looks like they've reopened the lanes. You can see traffic is moving through that area once again. And reports of it's a collision 401 eastbound collectors at Morningside. I don't have a visual on it, but you can see the backup there. Actually quite busy express and collectors through that area. Once again, a crash eastbound 401 collectors at Morningside. And the 404 southbound, we've been seeing a lot of volume through that area from about Finch to south of the 401. Northbound DVP, we're seeing the typical volume from about north of Danforth to north of Lawrence. And the westbound Gardner still dealing with a lot of volume. Again, the south, I'll mention it, westbound Gardner, that is heavy from about Jarvis to west of Bathurst. And this camera is working, so I can show it to you. Westbound on the Gardner through South Kingsway, we're seeing a lot of volume through that area. Off the major routes, we still have that police investigation at Bloor and Dufferin. Another police investigation, Keele and Dowswood Park Boulevard. That's it. Back to you.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
So much, Heather. Well, all eyes are on Burlington's Victoria Boko, the National Bank Open, as the teen sensation looks to extend her remarkable wild card run tonight.
All right, CP24's Phil Perkins joins us live from Sobeys Stadium. But the preview of tonight's match, Phil,
I just clocked him at 237 kilometers an hour, control 237 kilometers an hour, and no traffic under Mill Street.
And control all units remaining on this and are following strategically. 81 advising all units to disengage. 8906, you're to continue the route.
We have new video of the stunt-riding motorcyclist who became involved in a road rage incident Thursday night. The driver of a car that crashed following a confrontation with riders is in court today. Good afternoon. It is dangerous and it is illegal. A group of motorcyclists.
This video was posted by a man named Chris on Instagram. It apparently shows the events leading up to a fiery single vehicle crash here. It happened on the 401 near the Dixie exit. You'll see motorcyclists popping wheelies, doing tricks on the highway. And on the left side of your screen there, a black Volkswagen Golf looks like it's trying to pass them, weaving between lanes to get around this group of motorcycles here. I spoke to the passenger of that Volkswagen Golf, who's the accused girlfriend, the driver's girlfriend. Tells us what this video doesn't show is that they started yelling at the motorcyclists on the highway, and one of them came up beside her window and broke that side mirror. They then pulled over to the side of the highway. The motorcyclist followed, and in a fight, one of them punched her in the face and knocked her out. Her boyfriend then drove off, possibly in pursuit of the bikers, and then crashed his car a short time later. Now, in that video, at one point, it looks like something is thrown out the window at the bikers before they pulled over. The girlfriend says that her boyfriend may have thrown something out the window during that whole altercation, but she's not sure what it was. At this point, police are still looking for those motorcyclists. The accused girlfriend says that it looks like many of them didn't have license plates on their bikes, or there were a couple that were folded up. So anyone who has information on this is asked to contact police. As for the bail hearing here, it's still ongoing, so this is a developing story. We'll send things back to you for now.
Thank you, Tracy.